Hey everyone, welcome to the trailer crawler for the week of February 21st, 2010. Here is where I take a look at all of the upcoming games and give my 2 cents about them. I'm pretty sure this segment will end up losing me more subscribers than gaining, but I guess that's just par for the course when I'm bashing on everyone's hopes and dreams here. So yeah, let me know your first impressions as well, and if you plan on picking any of these up, or if you disagree with me, because that's half the fun as well. So first up is Heavy Rain for the PlayStation 3. I don't even know where to start here. I've watched the demo and I've been following this one for quite a while. The game has you playing as several different characters as you investigate the origami killer. Basically, you're doing a lot of detective work, although the game is very unconventional. I have seen a lot of people claim that it's barely even a game. Just watch this footage. A lot of people have been snickering and calling the game one quick-time event sequence where even the most mundane tasks, such as walking and squeezing between obstacles, requires a series of button presses where you need to have your PlayStation 3 controller memorized. Defenders of the game have been saying that calling the game one long QuickTime event sequence is unfair, but still not that far from the truth. Here's an example of Heavy Rain. There's this one scene where you're playing as a heavyset detective with asthma, which starts to act up. He needs to grab for his his inhaler, and the game starts to fling a possible number of reactions in the form of QuickTime event options. Which coat pocket do you frantically grab for to use this thing? If you've been paying very close attention to an earlier scene, you'll know which one, but if not, you'll be frantically searching around just like the main character who's now in a panic. It's this oddball type stuff that's supposed to draw you into the game. With this movie-like atmosphere, you make choices on what seem like mundane options to eventually reach one of the 4 possible ultimate endings. There will be a real line in the sand to draw, though. This falls under the category heading of real artsy stuff, to put it extremely blunt. First, is this going to play out like a C-grade movie or an A-grade movie? Like Mirror's Edge, is it going to actually be fun or not quite so much? And it's really hard to say when there's nothing else to compare it to. I know this game will be kind of significant to some people, but is the regular gamer going to actually find it fun? Because I honestly wouldn't hold it against someone if they said no, even though I am personally kind of intrigued. I probably won't pick this one up new, although I would like to try it eventually. Although, honestly, this is the kind of game where I think I would have more fun watching someone else play it while occasionally yelling out suggestions than actually doing it myself. But, it'll be really interesting to see how this game does. Second up is Sonic and Sega AllStars Racing for the 360, PS3, Wii, and DS. And poor Sonic, he's been handicapped to a car, that poor hog. Alright, I can't help myself. Here's a promo for the Wii version.
Sega.
Hey, I'm Alex, and this is Jen.
Hey there.
And we're gonna give you an inside look at Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing on Wii.
The racing game with attitude.
You can drive cars, monster trucks, motorcycles, fly planes.
Even ride bananas.
There's Sonic, Billy, and over 20
I love it. Sega wins. Really though, while a random kart racer from any company other than Nintendo usually spells a complete disaster, and that's even what I thought when I first saw some screenshots for this game, I would say that there's a good potential here for a quality racing game. Sumo Digital is behind this one, developing it, and they do have a fairly decent track record with games like Outrun 2. This game does look visually impressive as well. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing looks like it might be a fun sleeper hit. I don't know if it's going to be worth the $60, but it is something to keep an eye on, and I will be checking it out eventually. Third up, here is an obscure PS3 JRPG called Last Rebellion, distributed by Nippon Ichi Software and developed by Hitmaker. Ouch. This is not the Hitmaker that used to produce games for Sega, but instead another one, I guess, who made various games you've probably never heard of, like A Witch's Tale and Last Blade for the PSP, which all reviewed terribly with both critics and normal people. While I do kind of like this visual style because it has this raw video gamey look to it and atmosphere, nothing else is looking in this game's favor. I'm not even sure what the actual storyline is, but whatever. Apparently it's kind of short. Even Japan sort of passed on this one and didn't care much for it. I do have a curiosity for this one just because it looks unique, but it's pretty much destined to be terrible. Next is Risen for the Xbox 360. Generic fantasy western RPG makes its way from the PC, to, like I said, the Xbox 360. Apparently the PC version had tons of technical problems where there was theoretically a good game underneath all of the frustrations. But yeah, the game pretty much does look like it will play out exactly as it's shown in the video here. You choose your various equipment and go on quests to kill things, rinse and repeat just like everything else that looks exactly like this. Everyone who's got a hard-on for elves will probably still manage to enjoy this, but if you're just a casual gamer looking for this kind of gaming, you'll probably be better off with Dragon Age Origins again. Fifth up is Endless Ocean Blue Ocean for the Nintendo Wii. I'm really not going to pretend to be like some intellectual enlightened gamer here. The original Endless Ocean looked like the most boring, high-rated game on the planet. Swim around the ocean and look at fish. Oh boy, customize your private reef and aquarium. I'm convinced that the only people who actually get into this kind of game are the people that loudly talk about it on the internet, while absolutely everyone else has no interest. Sorry, I just want to put it as blunt as possible, because no one I actually know in real life cares about this game either. Although, it's not like I hold it against the people who do. So, whatever, I guess this is more of the same. The professional reviewers who love this sort of stuff all seem to love this as well. Personally, I really want nothing to do with the ocean unless I'm eating the creatures that live within it, but this is probably a good game for a very limited amount of people. It's not like I'm bashing on this, it just has its very small audience, and that's about it. Sixth up is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's World Championship 2010 Reverse of Arcadia for the Nintendo DS. Now, most professional sites seem to have no idea how to review these Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, but I'm going to say it straight out here. Honest to God, get ready for it. The underlying mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game are extremely good. Beyond the BS marketing and cartoon propaganda and all that, there is some brilliance here, and that is just not a joke at all. I will admit it, I played the hell out of the 2007 version, and some of the older versions as well, and while there were always some cards missing, because really, for no good reason, they really don't use all of the cards from the actual card game, not entirely sure why, I would still have probably given at least 2007 like a 10, and I know this puts my credibility at risk here, I guess, for some people, but if you could fully wrap your head around everything, the game gets extremely good. There's a lot of tactical potential in here. That said, I have no idea what's up with this racing and speed duels and all that other crap. I have no clue what's actually going on in this series. I guess this is some like mini racing game that's in here. I don't know. If anyone wants to explain to me what's up with the franchise lately, please go right ahead. I'm honestly pretty curious. Finally, we've got Metal Slug XX for the PSP. This is an enhanced version of Metal Slug 7 with co-op multiplayer and apparently even downloadable content, although I really don't know how much, or if it's just like a character or a sprite change or something like that. Now, I think the series is great. I've done a review of the Wii compilation disc, and if you're really curious what I specifically think, go check it out. However, is the PSP really the ideal place to be playing this game? Being that an unmodded D-pad on the PSP is terrible, that's already a harsh strike against it. Yes, I am blaming the hardware for this issue, but really it can impact the experience. From what I've seen, this game does look to have a ton of potential, but since SNK loves to whore out their games all over the place, I'd really just wait for this to drop on consoles or pick up 7 on the DS. I hate to put this game down here, but really this is just not the best place for a playable Metal Slug. So basically that's it. There's also a good handful of games that are destined to be horrible that have no hope at all. Some of them involve raising ponies and shit like that. This week contains a lot of potential sleeper hits. I fear Heavy Rain will be a little disappointing though, but I'll still probably check it out because I am interested in the industry and the artistic side of things. Sonic Racing could end up being good, but only time can tell for that one, although I do think there's a lot of potential there too. And then the rest of the week has some decent titles that will probably excite maybe only a few people, but it should be good for them. Overall, it's a decent week that I'm looking forward to. I'd say my excitement rating for this would be like a 6 out of 10. Nothing spectacular and amazing, but just some good games that are coming out that I think is something to look forward to. Let me know what your reactions all are.